followed footprints across the backyard of our Airbnb to a small shed. The door was closed. I stood there listening. Then from inside, a calm male voice said, "Excuse me, could you open the door, please?" Then a quiet laugh, like he found something funny. Someone had been living in that shed for days, while we slept 15 feet away. My girlfriend and I took a trip to Palm Springs last year. We both just needed to decompress, somewhere quiet with a pool. We found a modern Airbnb about 15 minutes outside the main part of the city on the edge, where the houses start spacing further apart and the desert takes over. One-story house, big glass doors facing the backyard, a decent pool, desert all around the back fence, no neighbors visible from the yard. The listing said it was very private, good for couples. That was exactly what we wanted. We booked it for 4 nights. The place looked exactly like the photos when we arrived. Clean, modern, white walls, concrete floors, basic furniture. The backyard had the pool, some lounge chairs, and a small storage shed off to the side. I assumed it was just for pool equipment. The host never met us. We just got a door code. Everything felt completely normal the first day. The first weird thing happened that first night. Around 1 or 2 a.m. I woke up thinking I heard something. A light thump, something hitting the side of the house. I lay there telling myself it was the house settling. Desert areas get strange temperature drops at night. I went back to sleep. The second day we mostly stayed by the pool. At one point, I thought I heard a voice, far away, faint, like someone calling something out. I asked my girlfriend if she heard it. She thought maybe she had, but we both laughed it off. There was nothing around us. No foot traffic, no sidewalks, just sand and distant houses. That night we again heard a couple of sounds. Small impacts, random ticks, all of it easily explainable. Night 3 was when everything changed. We'd gone to bed around midnight. I was still awake scrolling when I noticed light coming through the edges of the blinds. I thought maybe a car, but the light stayed on. I got up and looked through the edge of the blinds. A motion light in the backyard. On. Steady. I watched it for about 20 seconds. Then it shut off. 10 seconds later, another one came on, further down the side of the house. My stomach dropped immediately. Not from one light, from the sequence. It didn't feel random. It felt like something triggering them as it moved. My girlfriend asked what I was doing. I told her I thought someone might be outside. She sat up instantly. We both watched together as another light turned on near the back fence, then another near the pool, moving in a clear path around the outside of the house. She started telling me to close the blinds fully. Shut them, shut them. I closed them completely, and we sat in the dark in total silence. She was scared. I was scared. I was trying not to let that show. She kept saying to just stay inside and ignore it. My brain kept going to someone trying to break in and finding us unprepared. I told her I was going to check outside for just a minute. She grabbed my arm and told me that was a stupid idea. She was right. I went anyway. I went to the kitchen and took the biggest knife from the block. I didn't tell her. I didn't want to see what her face would do. I noticed my hands shaking slightly as I opened the back sliding door. Not normal for me. I stepped outside. Dead quiet. I stood there for a full minute just listening, then walked slowly around the pool, checked the fence line, the corners of the house. Nobody. I started thinking maybe I was just being paranoid. Maybe an animal had triggered the motion lights. Then I looked down near the side of the house. Footprints in the sand. Clear shoe prints. Not animal tracks. My heart started pounding properly for the first time. The prints went from the side of the yard toward the small shed beside the house. I followed them. Slowly. I remember thinking, if someone is hiding in there, I don't want to surprise them, but I also don't want them surprising me. The footprints went straight to the shed door. The door was completely closed. The prints just stopped. Right in front of me. That was the moment real fear arrived. Not nervousness, not anxiety, real fear. The kind that makes your body go very still. I stood about 3 or 4 feet from the door. I couldn't hear anything at first. I took one more step closer and just listened. For 5 seconds. Nothing. Then a man's voice. Calm. Completely calm. Like this was a perfectly ordinary thing to say. "Excuse me, could you open the door, please?" I didn't move. I didn't speak. I didn't breathe. Then right after that, the same voice did a small, quiet laugh, like something was funny. I didn't wait another second. I turned and ran straight back to the house, slammed the sliding door, locked it. My girlfriend was right there asking what happened. I was struggling to get the words out properly. I told her there was someone in the shed, that he asked me to open the door. She went hysterical. I called 911. While I was on the phone, we watched the outside lights start moving again. The same pattern. But now with the blinds completely shut, we couldn't see where he was. We only knew he was out there. That was almost worse, having confirmation without visibility. The dispatcher told us to stay inside and keep everything locked. It took 20 minutes for police to arrive because of how far out we were. Those 20 minutes were the longest of my life. Every sound made us jump. Every time the lights moved, we gripped each other a little tighter. When the police knocked and announced themselves, I have never been so relieved to hear another human voice. They checked the backyard, then the shed. One officer told me to stay inside while they opened it. After a few minutes, they came back. Nobody inside anymore. But they found empty water bottles, food wrappers. The officer said it looked like someone had been using it to stay there temporarily. Probably left when they heard me call 911. He said this sometimes happens in isolated rental properties. They recommended we leave that night. Probably the rest of the trip too. Before we finished packing, one of the officers held something up and asked if it belonged to either of us. A dirty baseball hat, pushed behind the couch. We both immediately said no. I felt something ice over in my chest very slowly. The officer said it was possible he had gotten inside at some point. No real way to know when. That was the part that hit hardest. Not the shed, not the voice, not even the lights. The hat pushed behind the couch. He had been inside this house, possibly while we slept, possibly multiple times, and we had dismissed every sound he made as the house settling. We packed immediately. I tried messaging the host multiple times explaining what happened. Every message showed as read. He never responded, not once. We drove back toward the city and found a cheap motel. The thing I keep returning to isn't the footprints or the shed, or even the hat behind the couch. It's his voice. How calm it was. "Excuse me, could you open the door, please?" Like he expected me to actually do it. Like this was a completely reasonable request. Like we'd both end up inside that shed together and everything would just be fine. Very long pause. I think about how close I came to finding out what he wanted.